Say hi to Sarah. Hey, baby.
Hi.
Okay. So I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning wondering why did I just dream about OK Go, the band, which honestly is a weird thing to dream about. I kept thinking about that lyric, it don't get much dumber. In the dream, I was trying to relate that song with something I was thinking, because you may not know OK Go, but I do invite you to go check out their music videos. They're very unique and interesting. They basically made a career out of making really dumb videos. And I remember I saw an interview with the lead singer, and he actually thought when they did that, the first video was a treadmill one that became viral. It became viral because of the video. And he thought they were going to be a one-hit wonder. He thought that was probably going to be our only hit, and we just got lucky with this dumb video. But thankfully, they leaned into it, and they kept making dumb videos, and it really worked for them. It became their whole identity. They're the kind of ideas where you can imagine them pitching it and saying, why don't we do this? And you can also imagine at least one person in the room saying, that's a really dumb idea. The longer I laid there thinking about that, I couldn't help but relate it to my own life, because so much of what has shaped our lives were things that people thought were dumb ideas. I mean, years ago, I had a house in Miami. I had a business. My parents couldn't be prouder. They immigrated to the United States so their children can live the American dream, and I essentially had done that. I mean, my house literally had a white picket fence. And one day, their son comes up to them and tells them, hey, I'm gonna chuck it all because I have this idea. Because one day, I sat there watching a video of a family with 12 kids traveling in an RV, and it seemed romantic to me. I loved it. And I thought to myself, well, if they can do it with 12 kids, why can't we do it with one? Didn't seem so dumb to me. It seemed completely logical. And I first told my wife, as I've mentioned in other videos, I first told my wife, completely expecting her to laugh me out of the room. But instead, she said, let's do it. Well, that let's do it changed the trajectory of our entire lives. I mean, how hard would it have been to convince me that, no, Eddie, that's a really dumb idea. We're not going to give up everything that we've worked for to travel in an RV full time, you know? Or for her to give the very logical reason of, you know, we have a 2-year-old son. We can't be, you know, taking stupid risks like this. And honestly, it would have been logical. It wouldn't have been very hard for me to go, yeah, hon, you're right. That was a dumb idea. But thank goodness. So thank you, Sarah, for not thinking it was a dumb idea. And for not thinking it was completely ridiculous. Because that led me to go, oh, okay, really? So let's look into it. And then we kept looking into it. And then we started looking on YouTube, and we started looking for more people that did it. And the more people we would find that had accomplished this idea that I had, the less dumb it seemed, right? And eventually it seemed it seemed not dumb enough that I could break it to my parents and tell them, hey, I have this idea. I'm going to chuck everything we work for, and I am going to live full-time in an RV and travel around and live completely nomadically like a couple of hippies. But I did tell them, and their reaction was supportive, but there was subtext, right? I could, I'm lucky to have supportive parents, but it didn't come without pain. It didn't come without my dad having nights where he couldn't sleep because I was about to throw away everything I had built. And my mother-in-law was in tears at one point. I mean, you got to understand, like, if you have immigrant parents and they come to the United States with a dream of having, the single family home, and more than that your kids accomplish that, and they do, and then one day they say they're gonna chuck it all for traveling full-time in an RV. I mean, my dad's a boomer. He doesn't get the nuance and the romance of it. To him, you live in an RV because you've failed in life and you're poor, right? And that's what he's tried to avoid all his life is poverty, and that's what he worked so hard for, is to not be poor. He grew up poor. And so I get it, right? I get their despair. But all that said, they were supportive. But I know how they felt. And some other people made their feelings, more clear. I had our business partner was not supportive at all. He was afraid of the optics of the president of the company traveling in an RV. And what if I had listened to those people? What if I had listened to my parents' subtext, the things that they didn't say? What if I had listened to my own doubts? Because the practical parts of going after your dreams are not really the hard parts. It seems like it would be like, oh, well, you have to do this, and you have to, you're going after a career, and I have to study a certain thing. I have to get a certain certificate, or I want to go after this business idea. So I have to either gain a skill or buy a machine, buy some supplies, make relationships. Like, those are the practical parts. At the end, those are really the easy parts. It's the psychological parts that are difficult. If you can get through the psychological part, if you can get through what will people think, or who's gonna think it's a dumb idea, or somebody actually did tell me it was a bad idea, or a dumb idea, or a stupid idea, or that little devil that's on my shoulder keeps telling me it's a stupid idea. If you can get through those obstacles, if you can get through those voices, that's the psychological part. That's the hard part. You get through that, the rest is easy. You have to make a phone call. You have to book a course. You have to go on Amazon and buy some machine so you can make your thing, right? So you have to be careful who you listen to and what you consider a dumb idea. To us, what started to sound like a bad idea to me, and a dumb idea, was the idea of waiting till I was retired for my travel full time in an RV idea to not be considered controversial, right? Or ridiculous, because nobody would have thought it was ridiculous then, right? If I had done this at 65, I wouldn't have heard any objections. And honestly, you just can't listen to people, because the funny thing is, since we travel full time, and I very obviously have a Hispanic accent, I get the question, at least myself, I get it all the time. Well, oh, where are you guys from? To which I usually answer, well, we technically are nomadic, and that never gets that's a dumb idea response, or that's crazy, why'd you guys do that, or never. Since we already did it, since we already accomplished it, I always get the opposite, like, oh my gosh, I wish I could do that, or oh, I can't wait to retire so I can do that, or yeah, that's my husband and our dream is to take an RV and take off, or oh my gosh, I've seen people on YouTube doing that. The other day when we went to purchase this car, the dealer, he has a small little online business as well, and he said, and he told me, wow, I've never met someone who actually did that. I only seen people on YouTube doing that. And so anyway, the reactions are very different. They're very complimentary. And I don't know if in real life they think it's dumb or not, but I gotta say the reaction's very different than if you own your single family house and your business and your properties and you tell someone the idea. Or at that point you get like the most supportive ones are like, well, hey, good luck, but you can again read the subtext. And I imagine, OK Go, when they now talk about a crazy idea for one of their videos, also no one tells them it's a dumb idea, right? Because they've already accomplished it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, almost every meaningful big life change is going to always sound ridiculous to some people. So we were lucky because at the end of the day, we pretty much got support from almost everyone, even the people that didn't think it was a great idea. But you may not be that lucky, right? Or you may not even need to not be lucky. You may be listening to your own little devil telling you that your idea is dumb and your idea is stupid. So please be careful who you listen to. Try to surround yourself with supportive people. And that includes yourself. Be supportive to your own dreams. Because you know what? I'm not a religious person, so I don't know if there's anything after this. But we're here now, and every day that goes by, you're not getting that day back. And I say that as a 52-year-old man sitting in his car talking to himself, listening to the little devil telling him, this is a really dumb idea. You're an old man. Stop doing YouTube. So be careful who you listen to, including yourself. Go after those ideas, even if they're dumb. And outside of that, just, please like and subscribe. And I promise to always encourage you to go after those ideas, those dumb ideas. All right. That's all for me. Take care. Bye.